supernatural, a true story of a terrorized life. It has been many years since I have laid eyes on the little monster. In many ways, it would have probably been less torturous to continue seeing the familiar creature than to see the frightening extraterrestrials an arm's length away. It was by no means a rare occurrence during my childhood to awaken and find the little monster standing next to the bed I slept in. The same little monster described in earlier chapters of this book continued to haunt me for years. There was apparently no distance too great for the creature to follow me as well, no matter where I slept, be it a visit to a distant relative or a sleepover with a cousin. The little monster was sure to make an appearance. I do not recall a time it lay hands on me. It seemed content to just terrorize me with its presence. It would just stand beside me as I held my blanket tightly down over my head. There was, however, one night I recall being pushed to my limits, fed up, so to speak. I have a vivid memory of my actions that night. I also recall the little monster's retaliation. I opened my eyes to see the oversized head of the creature whom haunts me. He is standing 3 feet away from me. I have seen him 100 times or more, but the repetitive visits have never changed my reaction. I gasp in horror. His eyes consume my every thought. I cannot understand how eyes can be so large. I have never seen him blink and wonder if it's even possible. After all this time, the only thing changing about the little monster's features is hair. He now has dark hair atop his head. Short curly hair that doesn't pass the boundaries of his stubbed horns. He still has brown skin with darker brown spots. His brown, oversized irises surround his large black pupils. The incredibly large whites of his eyes bring out the details clearly. I have not seen emotion from him since our first encounter, when he appeared surprised and gasped from the shock of being seen. I'm lying on the edge of my parents' bed, next to my father. We are sleeping in the room that the hallway opens to. The hall light is providing enough illumination to see every detail of the beast. I pull at the covers to get them over my head. Unfortunately, all I was able to grab was a thin sheet. I am able to see straight through the sheet, taking in everything the light touches. The light from the hall creates a perfect silhouette around the little monster. I can hear his raspy breathing. His outline sways back and forth, as if he's rocking from one foot to the other. One of my parents moves slightly and startles the monster. He turns to run off but stops when he realizes they are not waking. It seems like 5 minutes have passed. I am losing patience. All I want is the monster to leave long enough for me to climb between my parents. I'm so sick of this creature terrorizing me every night. I take a deep breath, and without further consideration, I let out a loud growl. My little voice drug out the growl. The monster jumps back in fright, finally getting a dose of his own medicine. He bolts through the open door next to the head of the bed. The room he ran into is dark. I slide the sheet below my eyes. I see the monster's big eye. He is peeking through the gap between the door and the door frame. He is only a couple feet away from me. I stare through the crack back at him. A moment passes, and I hear him. It is almost a whisper. Maybe he is afraid he will wake my parents. He drags out the growl, long and slow. When his growl stops, I have a strong fear that anything could happen next. I raise from the fortitude of my sheet and jump over my father's sleeping body. I wake my mother as I jump in between them. She gets out of bed to use the restroom. I take advantage of her being awake and focus on falling back to sleep. The little monster only tortures me if I'm awake. The little monster who terrorized me at night was the majority of my childhood experiences. Almost always there every night, just stalking at my bedside. I do recall seeing the little monster less and less, as I started seeing the little grays more and more. I also recall being put in danger one day by an odd type of gray. And I will be telling that story in the next video.